Hi, my name is Rachel Huff, and I'm a student at Grand Canyon University studying to become a teacher of special education. Today I would like to describe the IEP process, how data is collected, and how the meetings take place. I want to put a quick disclaimer that I have never written an IEP or been present in a meeting and am not speaking from experience, rather research. I will put my sources at the end of the video. First, I want to talk about what an IEP is. IEP stands for Individualized Education Program or Plan. I have seen them used interchangeably. Basically, it is a legal document that describes where a child or student is and lays out the tools and methods needed for them to become successful. IEPs have goals for the child, both long and short term, and they are reviewed at least once a year by a team of specialists that work with the child, though they can be reviewed as often as necessary, and meetings can be held more often according to need. For a little bit of background, IEPs came as a result of IDEA, or the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which is a piece of American legislation that provides children with disabilities the right to be educated. Then we have FAPE, or Free Appropriate Public Education, that is tailored to their educational needs. IDEA used to be known as the Education for All Handicapped Children Act from 1975 to 1990, but was then changed to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. This piece of legislation protects the rights of children with disabilities and ensures they get what they need to be successful. Not every child has the need for an IEP. In order to be eligible for special education services, which an IEP is a part of, the child must fall under one of the IDEA's 13 categories. These include disabilities such as blindness, deafness, autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, emotional disturbance, and more. To determine if the student falls under one of these, a process is followed to know if an IEP and additional services is necessary. Some children have an IEP written for them before kindergarten because they attended an early intervention program. If that is the case, the kindergarten teacher will receive the child's IEP and make adjustments accordingly. For example, a kindergarten teacher could welcome a new kindergartner in the fall with an IEP that describes them as hard of hearing and that the student needs to be placed near the front of the class. In other instances, the child doesn't come with an IEP or any diagnosis, and the teacher acts on what she observes and begins a data collecting process. This is called the evaluation. In the evaluation process, the general education teacher makes note that she thinks the child may have some form of disability and begins gathering evidence. This can be through samples of assignments and work, using tests and quizzes, and anything else that can be used as evidence. She then shares what she has observed with a specialist in the area of concern and may ask for a second opinion. If improvements are not made, or the child doesn't measure up to the standard, she can refer the child to the special education department. Assessments are performed by specialists and professionals. IDEA requires that students referred for special education services receive a non-discriminatory, multi-factored evaluation. This involves valuable insights from school counselors, general education teachers, therapists, doctors, and even parents who can provide lots of information. If a disability is recognized and special education services are assigned, then an IEP will be written. IEPs vary in length because they're based on individual needs. Most are several pages, but some can feel like novels. As a legal and binding document, it is important that the IEP is written with care and professionalism. The IEP contains a statement of the child's present functional performance and academic achievement. It will have annual goals and how these goals are to be measured. There is a section about the kind of aid the child requires and what services are available to them. The IEP will also include details of how much time each day or week the student is to spend in a special education classroom or with their peers in a general education classroom. IEPs may also contain important information such as sports or activities the child cannot participate in for safety reasons or medical information such as allergies. A very important part of all of this are the IEP meetings, which should be held at least once a year. At an IEP meeting, the principal is there, the special education teacher, the general education teacher, the parent, and any other specialist who works with the child, such as counselors or speech therapists. Sometimes the child may even be present. In these meetings, they go over how the child has improved in some areas and maybe not so much in others. Every representative should have the opportunity to share what they've learned and observed. A parent has the right to request certain services for their child, or if the parent disagrees with something in the school that the school is doing, he or she can request a change or removal. Parents are valuable because they see things in the home the staff don't, and they are advocates for their child's learning. The IEP is reviewed and changes can be made if necessary. It is important to remember that these meetings are private and confidential and that the information is not to be shared. IEPs look like a lot of work, and I have heard they can be stressful to write, but they are very necessary and, when used properly, can mean a successful child. I am early in my journey to become a special education teacher, so I still have a lot to learn. I plan to continue learning and welcome any advice from special education teachers out there. Hope this video was helpful.